Some people have eyes that seem to have seen way too much, right? Even as kids, they carry this calmness, like they've lived 1,000 lives. It's almost like they don't quite vibe with their generation. They think deeper, fail stronger, and detach quicker than their friends. People often call them old souls. But what does that even mean? Why do some folks feel older than their age? Not in body, but in spirit. That's what we're diving into today. The psychology of the old soul mindset. Ever felt it? Sitting with friends your age, and the conversations feel kinda shallow. Everyone's laughing and chatting about the latest trends, new shows, and drama. And there you are, smiling along, but your mind is off somewhere else. You're thinking about life, purpose, and what it all means. You notice things that others seem to miss, and then that quiet question pops up. Why do I feel so old? Psychologists say this feeling often comes from being emotionally aware early on, when you've had to deal with deep emotions as a kid like sadness, responsibility, or loneliness. Your mind matures faster. You start to see life not as a playground, but as a mirror, constantly reflecting truth back at you. That's when the old soul starts to emerge. Many old souls share a little secret. They grew up fast. Maybe they were the peacemakers in their families, the ones who listened when parents fought, or the protectors of their siblings. They might have been the quiet ones in a loud room, soaking in the chaos around them. Psychologists call this emotional parentification. It's when a child takes on adult emotional burdens. This leads kids to analyze people deeply, understand moods, and predict reactions. They don't just play, they observe. They don't just live. They carry the weight of those experiences. Even as they grow up, that sense of responsibility doesn't just fade away. They keep feeling other people's pain, often without wanting to. Old souls often find themselves living in two worlds. The outside one where they seem calm and grounded, and the inside one where their thoughts echo endlessly. They find beauty in silence, peace in solitude, and a strange nostalgia for things they've never experienced. It's not that they don't enjoy life. They just see it differently. While others chase excitement, the old soul is on a quest for understanding. They notice how sunlight hits old buildings, how people change when they think no one's watching, and they listen not just to reply, but to truly feel. This isn't introversion, it's depth. They're not shutting themselves off. They're diving into the richness of existence. But let's be real, awareness comes with a cost. When you see life clearly, you can't unsee it. The old soul's curse is sensitivity to emotions, energy, and truth. They can sense dishonesty, emptiness, and pain in others, and that can be exhausting. They crave simplicity in a world that seems to love noise, and often they carry sadness without a clear reason. This is what psychologists call empathic overload. It's when empathy shifts from being a gift to a burden. That's why many old souls isolate themselves. They're not cold or distant. They're just trying to protect their peace. For old souls, relationships are never casual. They don't want small talk. They crave soul talk. Connection has to feel real, or it just feels off. But that depth can be intimidating. Many people mistake their calmness for detachment and their independence for distance. Yet behind that quiet energy is someone who has loved deeply, lost deeply, and still chooses to care. An old soul doesn't fall in love easily, but when they do, they love with timeless loyalty. If you've ever lost an old soul, you know that the silence they leave behind is louder than any goodbye. It's like they take a piece of your heart with them, leaving you to ponder the depth of what was shared. So, how do you know if you carry the old soul mindset? Here are a few signs that might hit home. You often feel disconnected from people your age. You find yourself drawn to older conversations, classic music, and deep philosophy. You prefer solitude over social noise. You feel emotions strongly, sometimes more than you can explain. You think about mortality, purpose, and meaning more than most. You're the one people come to for advice, even when you're not sure yourself. But the most telling sign, you feel like you're watching life more than living it. It's as if you're observing the human story, not just playing your role in it. You're not a spectator by choice. It's just how your soul operates. Old souls carry wisdom, but not all of it comes from experience. Some of it is intuition, a quiet knowing that life is both fleeting and sacred. They understand that every person is fighting unseen battles, that love, when pure, is rare, and that forgiveness isn't a weakness, it's freedom. They realize that silence isn't emptiness, it's reflection. Old souls don't chase attention, they chase peace. And in a world obsessed with youth, old souls remind us that aging isn't just about time, it's about truth. They bring a perspective that's often overlooked in a society that values the loud and flashy. But let's face it, being an old soul isn't always a beautiful journey. It can be incredibly lonely. You watch connections fade faster than you'd like, and sometimes you outgrow people without wanting to. You crave conversations that never seem to exist, and there are days when you wish you could just switch it off. Stop feeling so much, stop caring so deeply, and stop thinking so far ahead. But that's the paradox of the old soul. They understand life too deeply to live it superficially. Once you've seen beneath the surface, you can never return to the shallows. You're forever changed. And that can be both a blessing and a curse. Old souls don't need fixing. They need balance. Feeling older than your age isn't a flaw. It's a different kind of strength. The key is learning not to drown in your depth. You must allow yourself moments of lightness, laughter, play, and the beauty of imperfection. Even ancient souls deserve to rest. Surround yourself with people who bring warmth, not noise. Create art, write your thoughts, and spend time in nature. And remember, your wisdom isn't a burden, it's a gift. The world needs your sensitivity just as much as you need its simplicity. You have the power to bridge the gap between the loud world and the quiet depth of your soul. Maybe feeling older than your age isn't about past lives or cosmic wisdom. Perhaps it's simply about having felt deeply in this one. Every tear you've held back, every emotion you've analyzed, and every truth you've faced. All of it shapes your soul. That's why you see the world differently. You're not behind. You're not detached. You're just awake. And in a generation that's chasing noise, being awake is the rarest form of rebellion. So, if you ever feel out of place, remember this. You're not out of sync. You are just a head and heart. This is the story of the old soul, a spirit born to feel, to see, and to understand. While the world rushes by, they move deeply, savoring each moment. Because not every wise being is aged in years. Some are aged in awareness, and that's a beautiful thing.